Hi there, this is Floating in Books. Today I'm going to take you through my journaling setup for 2026. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. These are all the journals I will be working with for 2026. I have had a couple of these journals for a few years already. I have shown them in separate videos sometimes, but I thought that this time I could just give you a quick flip through of how I like to organize my life. And I have one thing that is going to be new, but that is not going to be just a year thing. If this isn't full, then I'm going to keep using it in 2027 because this is just a fun little side project that I wanted to work on. Let's start with this and then we'll work our way to the end, and then I'll take you a little bit through this little makeup bag that I now have for myself as sort of like a little journaling supply, like quick and easy grab and go sort of situation. So let me talk you through everything I've got going on. So first things first is the most boring option, and this is my agenda, the planner I use to keep my life organized. I have used the same Moleskine Weekly planner for more than a decade, ever since I no longer taught at a secondary school where I needed a teacher's planner where you have space in the back to keep all of your students' grades. With digitalization, that's no longer necessary. So that's why I can have my own planner. And this is the one I've kept. I bought it in different colors. I've had a yellow one, I've had red ones, I've had blue ones. I've had themed ones because they also always do limited editions with like fun designs. This is what it looks like. I haven't set it up yet. I'm going to have to do that in a second. I usually write my timetable in here, like when my lessons are being taught, what meetings I have for work, but also like personal things like when I need to go to the dentist and things like that, when there's like fun things going on in my city. And last year, I really stopped using it around like April time, and I was like, okay, 2026, I just need to be better at keeping my planner because I'm pretty good at staying organized and just knowing when I have things going on, but I just want to be a little bit more strict about it. So I like this setup because it allows me to have my appointments on one side and then I can write to-do lists on the other side. So it's like just a notebook at the same time. So I like that for work. And I write down like when we have vacations and when I'm traveling and like what time I need to be, places and stuff. So this, I still need to get organized. I was like, I'm going to do that the first week back at work so that I can just take like an hour to write all of my appointments and stuff for the next couple of weeks in here. And when my new timetable is announced, I can put it in here as well. So that's all going to work really, really well. And I decided to have a pen on hand. When I bought this little journal, which you'll see in a second why I have that, it came with a pen like this. It's the Sakura Micron PN. It's a fine liner and I loved how it wrote. I was like, I've not tried a pen like this in years. So I went onto Amazon or bol.com and I bought two to have one with my work agenda, because one of the reasons why I'm not filling it out is because I don't have a pen on hand always that works, because everything is so digitally and online now that I have my work calendar on my laptop and that Surface is fine, but sometimes I quickly want to look something up and to then have to like take out your entire laptop is a little bit too much of an effort. So I'm going to be filling this out later this week when I'm at work and make sure I have everything written down. And I now have a nice dedicated pen for it, and I can attach it to the little elastic that closes it to have that all ready to go. So that is just my planner, my agenda. Then I always make my own planner. I did a bit of a boo-boo though, because I thought I had bought a notebook with thick enough paper, and then I didn't. But I went to Hema, that's where this notebook is from. It's just plain cardboard. They didn't really have any fun bullet journals in this time round, because usually I buy their bullet journal to make my content planner for the year. So I have 2 YouTube channels, and I want to get into shorts. I've been meaning to do this for like the past 2 years with more makeup-y content that way, but I just haven't managed. But I now have a new tripod that I think is going to allow me to just like put my phone in there, film a couple of shots, and then I can edit it on my phone. I've been trying that out with the coloring journey I've been posting on TikTok, and it's been working out quite well. And I saw that the YouTube in-app editor is very similar to the one on TikTok. So now that I've mastered that, I should be able to do that a little bit more quickly and easily, because the thing that was holding me back with creating a lot of shorts, I found, wasn't the filming. I was able to film loads of content. It was the editing. I just didn't have time to edit. So if I can just like do it really quickly while I'm like waiting until like my pasta is cooked right there on my phone, it's a little easier for me than having to whip out my laptop and do it with Premiere Pro, which is what I use to edit all of these videos. So yeah, I do have a content planner. I've done this for, I think this is my 4th or 5th year running, where I keep a notebook that allows me to jot down ideas for content, but also to have a bit of an overview of what I want to do each month. Now, previously, I was keeping a diary style. So I had like a monthly view and like a list of view, and I just wasn't using the monthly view anymore because I do make folders on my laptop each month for all the videos and all the content to go into. And I just put those in order of what the month is going to go. And sometimes I change it around if I haven't had time to film something, or if I haven't been able to test something out yet. I do sort of change that up quite a bit. So I was like, you know what? The only thing I really need is just a list of ideas. And then I have lists in the back for like choosing topics, because on my main channel, I have quite a few like series running. So I just, per month, I've created these lists, and for quite a few of the months, I have written down a number of video ideas already, but for instance, April is already empty, but March and also February, I still have space for other ideas. And that's sort of how I do it. I kind of plan ahead because I do the whole content creation thing besides working in teaching, and this is the only way I can stay sane. If I know what's coming, I can pre-film things. I only have time to film on days off during the weekend or during a vacation. So I need to plan carefully, because else I just won't get it done. And then this also allows me to just track, like I have tabs here in the back for like reviews I still want to do. So I can add names of that list so that I know what to put in a Shop My Stash at some point. I have series ideas here, so this is already filled out for the entire year. I have about 12 ideas per video idea, so I can just pick and choose what tickles my fancy that month, what I want to do. Some things for this channel as well that I can do, or that if I don't have inspiration, I can just go to that page. On the other channel, I do a palette month in August, so I like to keep track of that. Then I keep a list of dupes, and then I think, where did I write those down? Oh, I wrote them down at the beginning. It's like, where did they go? But I wrote down some ideas for shorts for my other channel as well, so I can sort of have a bit of a series going there as well. And these are the things that I would like to do every month, and I just have a yearly overview of things that I know will probably work around that time of year. So that way I always, again, if I don't have inspiration and I don't know what to do that month, I can just look at my list and go like, oh, I haven't filmed a video yet with my favorite winter palettes, so I need to get around to that in January, for instance. So this way I can keep track of things, and I know exactly what I want to do video-wise. And I only post here once a week, so the journal, this planner, isn't as important for this channel. But again, I have a couple of things I like to do from time to time and that I just want to show you. So I do have, again, 4 or 5 videos a month that go live on this channel, so that's what I'm posting there. And this is just one of the things that I like to show you on this channel as well. So that's the content planner. The most exciting planner, and that you'll see more often on this channel, but mainly I think for my mid-year check-in and again towards the end of the year when I'm telling you about my book favorites. I've been dabbling around with book journaling for the past 3 years now. This is going to be the 4th time that I'm doing this. And I started with a personal journal, and then it became a personal journal with a reading journal, and then it became a little bit of a personal journal with mostly a reading journal, and then I just found out the only type of journaling I really enjoy doing is book journaling. I don't really keep track of my personal goals all that much because I'm just not really good at it. Let's put it that way. It's not that I'm not interested in it, it's just something I'm not really good at. And I also feel like some people track things, so I'm like, why would you track the weather? Like, I can see it snowing outside, you know? I think it's nice if you then go back to it in a year, like how many snow days you had or whatever. But it's not necessarily something that I'm interested in. So I've set up my book journal this past weekend, a little bit later than I normally do it, but I just didn't have the time yet to really dedicate, and it took me a night and an afternoon to set this whole thing up, and I'm really proud of what I managed to do. This is a Leuchterm just notebook. It's not even their bullet journal. But I found this at the London Graphic Center, I believe it's called, when I was in London. It was my aim to go there and to pick up some journaling supplies, and so I did. So I managed to pick up this really nice light green notebook, and as you can see, I covered it in stickers, and I now see that some of the stickers are a bit loose, but that's fine. So that's the first one. And then when you open it, this is the spread I decided to do for the opening. So it just says reading journal, and I used bookmarks that I picked up from different places in 2025. I did this last year for the opening page of my journal, and I really enjoyed it. And I just used some paper that I picked up from Amazon or Temu to sort of fill out the rest of the space. So, and then just some stickers there. And then I need to be like, it's all sticking together a little bit. Then I created a little index for myself. So I've been using stamps and all that. And then just doing a little bit of junk journaling, because that's really what I enjoy doing. So this way I can find where everything is. Then a page for all of my ratings, my goals. I want to read 50 books. I want to try and read every day. I'm already failing at it, but it's a goal every single year, and I just want to, someday I'm going to get it done. I want to finish the Crescent City series. I still need to read one book in that series. I want to read more physical books, because the main reason why I got to 37 books in 2025 is because it was a lot of audiobooks. So I actually want to read more on the paper. And then I want to read the Blackwater series as well. This is a gothic southern United States set, whatever. I don't know. It's been recommended to me a lot. I finally was able to pick up all the books in 2025, so it's time to read it. My little countdown, I've set it to 50. If I read more than 50, it hardly ever happens. 50 is a good number for me to try and achieve. It's still a challenge for me, and I don't mind it if I don't make it, but this way I have a little bit of a spread for that. And then, like I said, all the pages are sticking together. I just was able to fill this out. I made a little Dutch door here for my 26 books in 2026. I did 25 books last year. I read 2 of them. So this shouldn't be like interpreted as a TBR. These are not necessarily the books I want to prioritize. But again, if I'm not really sure what I want to read, I have a page set down with a bunch of books that I'm like, yeah, at some point in time, those are books I really want to get to. Some of these I rolled over from last year, but most of these are new things that I've brought in recently or that have been sitting on my shelf for some time and that I just need to get to. So did that, and then made a nice little spread out of that. I think here, yeah. So I do like to have a bookshelf where I can just color in the books. And this is what I decided to do. So again, I made a nice little opening page and then a Dutch door. I just took some pages of journaling paper from my old bullet journal and decided to stick them in here. So this way I can sort of like color them in. And again, I put 50 books on that to have that fun thing there. I like to visualize those things. Then I like to do the alphabet challenge. So I have the entire like alphabet just laid out here so I can write down the different titles of the books that I have read that are in alphabetical. Like I want to try and read a book for every letter of the alphabet. That's the idea. Again, turned it into a nice little spread here. I really like this with the sort of handwritten paper that I had. And then this is the book bingo page. I decided to not make it too complicated for myself this year, and I found out I had this really nice holographic looking paper, so I was like, might as well use that. And again, used a bit of spare paper from my old journal that wasn't full yet to use as paper for these little inserts that I had to make. A top 10, I took like a full 2-page spread for it last year, and then I decided not to even fill it out, but I was like, okay, this time I do want to do it again. And then, we're skipping ahead a little too far. This is my book bracket for the year. So every month I'm going to pick a favorite book, then my favorite book from the first quarter, from the second quarter, from the third quarter, from the fourth quarter. Then those go up against each other, and then I get to my favorite book of the year that way. Then I want to track all of the genres that I read. So I had this tracker in last year. I just copied it from how I did it then, didn't change anything. And this is going to be pages read. So this is going to be for like just being able to track how many pages I read every month. And then I have my yearly stats. So again, all the months of the year. So I know what total of pages, books, genres, TBR, new in, audio, paper, ebook, and series I will have read throughout the year. I just like doing that way. I do have these pixelated things in again. I gave up on this one already after January last year, so I'm gonna try and be better at it. And I'm going to do like when I finished a book as well. I was able to keep this going until April last year, but I also wasn't reading as much last year, and I'm feeling a lot better nowadays than I did last year. So I'm hoping to be able to read more. And if I'm reading more consistently, then I also think about having this journal a little bit more. So there's that. Then at the end of the year, I want to print off all the covers of the books that I've read. And I decided that I could do 12 per page. So this gives me space for 48 books, maybe a little bit more because I didn't put the title here. And then I have little star stickers. In a second, you'll see that I can use to add the star ratings. Then if I want to keep some sort of TBR, I was like, let's have a list for that. So here I can write down if there's any books I want to prioritize. If there's like a new book being announced that I want to get to straight away, I can write them down here. Again, a page I had in last year, but I took way too many pages out for it because I don't really work with TBRs all that much. I'm more of a mood reader, so it doesn't work for me. And then just a book log to be able to track what books I've read, the rating I gave it, how many pages it had, what genre, how I read it. So was it on paper? Was it an ebook? Was it an audiobook? The gender of the author, and then the date I finished it. So I've taken out 3 pages for it. It should be enough for 50 books. And then I have a bit of a spread here for all of the book reviews that I'm going to be doing at the end. So last year I started doing this where I did book reviews where I did a combination of writing the review down and doing a bit of junk journaling. But what I've decided to do for this year is that for each book I read, I'm going to do a spread with some junk journaling supplies and then just add the rating with some stars and stuff, and then I'm going to be good to go. So that's the plan, and that gives me just a bit of like fun, and because I love to junk journal more so than anything else. And I actually got so many cool supplies. Like these stickers are all from Amazon. I got some like spooky, darker like journaling supplies from Temu because I just found that a lot of the supplies I have are very sort of cozy and fun. It's all like this vibe, but the type of reading I do, let me show you, fits this vibe. So I didn't have too many supplies yet that do that. Like I just read a lot of fantasy, a bit of horror, historical fiction. Everything I read is like detectives and about murders. So I don't need the cozy supplies all that much. It goes very well if you read a lot of romance, I think. But for me, it didn't quite work. So now that I have all of those things, I'm like, I have the stickers, I have the papers, I have everything. I think I can make it work for this year. So that's something I'm looking forward to, but I won't be making any content when I do the journaling. I find it very complicated to film and edit those things. So I'll just show you in my mid-year check-in what was in the journal, I think. And then finally, the one I'm super excited for is my tea journal. I saw people doing this on TikTok. I was like, I just want a nice small journal, and that because I do travel from time to time and I always order cups of tea everywhere. I was like, oh, if I can then keep like the little sachet that the tea comes in, I'm gonna have such a good like collection of memories over time of all the tea I drank. So again, I put stickers on it. This is another journal I bought at the London Graphic Center, and this came with one of those fine liner pens that I showed you. So that's why it has a little tab. Put some stickers in here, and then just because I wanted to have a fun page to open it, these are all the cups of tea, coffee, and drinks I had during my Christmas break that were different ones, because I also put some of my Nespresso in here. And I had a little rhubarb drink from Fritz Cola, which I really love. So yeah, these are all the different teas I've had, and now I can start the journal in earnest for 2025. Whenever I drink a cup of tea, I can do either a little spread with the entire tea bag, or I can just like have like, I have this little hole punch, as you'll see in a sec, that allows me to make these little squares, and I can do like a little bit of like true junk journaling. Like this one, it's more like actual journaling. It's more like scrapbooking, I'd say. It's not actual junk, but this is going to be things that otherwise you would throw away, and I think that's going to be fun. So that's the little tea journal. Really happy with that. And then really quickly, this is a beauty case. It's not supposed to be used for journaling, but I was like, these two things, if they live in a dedicated spot in my room, I'm much more likely to grab for them than if they're just like lying about somewhere. So put my pen in here so I can use that to fill out the book log and stuff. I've got little star stickers that I picked up on Amazon. These I got through Amazon, but these I want to start using when I'm doing the cover pages. But these I want to use for the ratings on the journaling pages I'm going to do. And then what makes this so perfect for journaling, I actually saw this on someone's Dutch TikToker doing this for journaling, having a beauty case. And then in the bottom are like a little glue roller, scissors, the hole punch for the squares, a little stamp that I can use when I want to stamp the date, and then all of the markers that I'm going to use to fill out the journal. And I actually, oh, now I've already put it away, but the Leuchterm notebooks come with a little envelope in the back. So what I decided to do as I was setting up the journal, let me find it. Already put it away, of course. Oh, things keep falling out. But right here in the back, you have this little envelope thing. And then inside it, I just made a little card for what markers I'm using for what pages, and I wrote down the color numbers. So that's going to be super helpful to keep together. And I hope I can, for once, keep it going and I don't like stop halfway through the year. That would be fun. But like I said, I wasn't reading too much last year, so it made it a bit more challenging. So thanks so very much for watching this video today. This was my little journaling setup for 2026. Let me know if you have one. This is just something I do on the side for myself for fun, but I thought this way I could like show you what I've done. And I just really like being a little crafty and spend a little, like, especially if it's like a boring Saturday afternoon and I have not much going on, I like to just sit down and like take out all of my scrapbooking like supplies and just putting pages together. It's the thing I enjoy the most. Like, I enjoy setting up the reading journal more than keeping the journal, I think. But I do really like the satisfaction of being able to go back to it after a year to see what I've actually read. So yeah, here's some more reading and to hopefully being able to keep this journal a little bit better. I really enjoy the way it was set up. Now it's time to get using it. So thanks so much for being here today. Thumbs up this video if you like it. Check back next week for a new video because I will have something fun for you then as well. And yeah, let me know in a comment down below if there's anything you want to see from me on this channel. Maybe I can make something work. And then I hope to see you again really soon. And then I hope to see you again really soon in a new video. Bye-bye.